How you doing today, my friends? Mr. Green here, and today we're going to start on a new project. As you guys all know, I got the splitter done, and if you haven't checked out those videos, there's a whole series on me building this wood splitter. But for anybody else that follows my channels, my subscribers, I did get myself a little stick welder for dirt cheap, pretty much free, and I'm going to start with this little cheap one, learn how to stick weld, and I've never stick welded before, so I've been testing it out a little bit, but we're not actually going to use this one for this project just because I'm not, that good at it yet. So, but the project at hand here is, on the back of my tractor, I want to build a drawbar, 3-point hitch drawbar for it. Now, because I've just bought the splitter, I got a little ball on a hitch on the front of that. I want to be able to move this around with the tractor. Excuse me. And so what I've done is I salvaged this old tow hitch from it's from a vehicle. You can get it at your local scrap yard for 20-30 bucks. And I ended up just finding this one on the side of the road. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the pipe down, say here and here. I'll get my measurements between my 3-point hitch, and you can do this for whatever size tractor you have. So just try to find one, the space between your 3-point hitch, between the two pins. And so I'm going to cut that down. I will weld on caps. I've got these old pins here. Let me see if I can get it in view here. Got these old pins here, so I'll weld on a flat plate on the end of that, drill my hole that this fits through, which I think is 1 inch. I do have a 1-inch bit here. So we'll feed that through, tighten everything up, weld it on, and then we'll have to do a piece from the center here up to this the adjustment for the 3-point hitch. So we should be able to get to use the new saw today, the new chop saw. I'm just going to get everything set up here, and we'll get to putting this together. Okay, so I measured between mine, and I need 21 inches. So that is 11 inches on either side, or to center. I'm just going to eyeball it. Because if it's a 1/4 of an inch off, it makes no difference really. So get these marked there and there. Okay, so we'll mark this square around here. And then we'll cut it off. So looking at it, I don't think I'm going to be able to use this saw to cut it off without raising it and messing with it. So I think what we'll do is we'll just use the cutoff on the grinder, and that should do it. Yeah, great. And one thing about the Mastercraft handle, if you're cutting something like this, you can push a button and turn it so that your trigger is faced the right way. guys, well, there it is, all shortened up. Now we'll work on getting these pins in here like so, and we'll weld on the outside piece, drill those holes out, and we'll be set. So I've got to find some plate so that I can weld those on, and away we go. I am probably going to run this through this big saw now, just to make sure that all my edges are all squared up. And yeah, so we'll be back here in a minute. Okay guys, well, I've got this part cut down, got all the edges squared up, and now I'm going to cut the end caps for it. I've also got everything with the flap disc, got all the edges cleaned up for welding. Now I've got this chunk of steel over here, this flat stock. I'm going to mark out at 2.5 inches and cut a strip out, and then we'll cut them into pieces on there. Okay, so there's the piece all cut out here, and we'll get it measured up. We'll be over here, and I'll cut these, mark them, cut them, and then we'll drill the holes, and then we'll weld them on. I definitely got to get a new blade for this one. The one that's in here is a piece of junk. But there's my one plate done. And we'll mark out for one more. Up, but I'll do it on my little bench grinder, and we'll be back. Okay guys, I started drilling out these holes. I had a one hole saw that was 1 inch and the teeth were gone off it. Bought like a $60 freaking 1 inch bit. Thing is garbage, it won't cut through anything, and it's for steel. So now, because it's Thanksgiving here in Canada, everything is closed, so I can't finish that today. So I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to go get the new hole saw. But I've got these old chunks of steel that are left over from the log splitter build, and have the perfect size hole for my adjustment. So I'm going to cut these off, and we'll be welding on top. Okay, so make sure you guys can see this. What I'm going to do is this one and this one are going to be welded on like that. And now when I come down to put my top bar in, the top link, it will fit right between here. So I need to just measure things out, and then we'll weld this on. Okay, so we're going to get this welded on here. I'm using the 110 MIG right now because I'm still a much better welder when it comes to MIG than I am stick. Okay guys, well, I got the holes drilled through the plates. Now here's the pins, and originally I was going to screw them all the way in, all the way up to here, but that's going to give me all that extra distance, which I don't want. So I'm just going to weld it on just like that onto the threads, and this will be inside the bar. All the pressure is going to be right on this point anyway, so it's not really going to matter. And then I made sure I beveled all my edges and beveled the edges on the actual tube too, and that will allow for the weld to get in there and make it nice and strong. So like always, I got to start the generator to weld, so I'll get this started and we'll weld these up. Alright guys, well, it's done. There you go. We'll get it hooked up into the tractor and we'll be right back. Okay guys, Okay guys, well, it's the next day, and the problem was when I hooked up, I remember earlier in the video I explained that these should have been on the back and not on the top, because what happens is when you put pressure down on the end there, it would just tip up and pivot, which you don't want. So this should have been welded on the back down here, and that would have stopped that from happening. So what I did was instead add some steel right in here on the bottom that stops it from pivoting. That'll do for now, and then eventually I'll cut these off and move them down onto the bottom. But yeah, so that's how I stop that from happening, and that's how you can do with yours when you build yours. So alright guys, well, thanks a lot for checking out this video, and I appreciate some comments down in the comment section about if you guys enjoyed the way I edited this video, if it's too long, too short, and all of that. So please remember to subscribe, and as always, if you click that thumbs up button, we'd be greatly appreciated. Have a great day.